Okay, I'm okay. Ah! Okay. I think I'm all right. Ah! What is going on? 1 year after Robert Whittaker in February of 2018 was unable to defend his middleweight title against ex-champ Luke Rockhold in Australia due to injury. Now he is out of the main event again. The main event of UFC 234 has been canceled just hours before the event. I'm Micah Fights with Friends, and do not adjust your monitor. This is not clickbait. This is not fake news. This is absolutely live happening right now. One of the biggest fights of the year to date, one of the biggest pay-per-views, the biggest combat event in Australian history. The hometown hero, Robert Whittaker, sold out in 15 minutes. 15 minutes. That's faster than the Rolling Stones sold out. 15 minutes. You know how on fire Australia has been to see their hometown hero, Robert Whittaker, defend his belt in front of his home country? And now he has a hernia, and he's headed into surgery. Emergency surgery. Like now. Like right now. Like he was like okay yesterday apparently. And now apparently he's not. This is absolutely shocking. I don't know what it was he did yet to cause the hernia. The first one to report on it was Brett Okamoto. Excuse me, I'm so shook up I can barely talk. For ESPN. UFC 234 card now shows the main event will be former middleweight champion Anderson the Spider Silva taking on undefeated Israel Adesanya. That was scheduled to be the co-main event. We still will be getting what should be a stellar middleweight showcase, but it's not what we expected. And we don't get anything extra. There was nobody waiting in case somebody was injured, as in the UFC said that they were going to do this. And now we have yet another weight class tied up. I'm not done here yet, guys. Do not turn off the channel because I am on a tirade right now. The 125-pound division is on check. They've cut most of those guys. They're telling them, basically, you should start gaining some weight from what they're hearing or look for another job. Joseph Benavidez was the last one to beat the champion, Henry Cejudo. That's all gone. TJ Dillashaw wants to fight Henry Cejudo again. So what does that do? You have Renato Moicano, a legitimate 135-pound number one contender who cannot fight for that belt. Gone. So that's two tied up weight classes. Let's go to 155. You have Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov going absolutely bonkers for a year, culminating in Khabib Nurmagomedov eagle smashing people out of the cage in an absolute rampage in Las Vegas. He'll be lucky if he fights again by the end of the year. He's basically suspended for the rest of the year. That's 155. Now you have 185 tied up. You have a heavyweight, no matter what you feel about Daniel Cormier. There's number one contenders. There's fighters that he could be fighting, and he chooses to fight the Derek Lewises of the world until he waits for a retired payday against a WWE fighter. Is the curse of WME real? Let me go over that again. 125-pound division. You will not see a title shot soon. 135-pound division. number one contender spot there's going to mean nothing for probably the rest of the year. 155 pounds. The champion can't even fight for the rest of the year. And now 185 pounds, the champion is out of the main event. He has a hernia. We don't know how long he'll be out for. Then, to wrap it all off, you have a heavyweight champion who is not going to fight the number 1, 2, number 3, 4, or 5 contender, most likely. And here is what you got. Here's what's left. You have a 145-pound division of a guy that who knows how much longer he can make 145 pounds. He's already been hospitalized cutting weight. Then you have a 170-pound division with a champion that's 37 years old. We don't know how much longer he's going to go. His number one competition in the division is one of his best friends and training partners who he will not fight. And he's talked about going up. Then there's only one more division. Only one more division. And then the other champ at 205, that's Jonathan Picogram Jones Bones. Who knows how long they're going to allow him to continue to have these substances pop up in his body. I just went through it with you. Almost every weight division in the UFC is in absolute panic mode right now. And the UFC has never been in a better position to capitalize on big fights. You have the ESPN contract, which we're only 2 months into it, and they're putting on huge cards. We just seen a revitalized Jose Aldo, who I'm excited as hell about, but said that he would never fight 5-round fights again. So it'll be interesting to see him fight people, but he's never fighting for a title again, most likely. Now you got Tony Ferguson, Dustin Poirier at 155 pounds. What do you do with those guys at 185 pounds? What do you do with Kelvin Gastelum? Does he take another fight in the meantime like Frankie Edgar did and risk losing his number one position? 125, like I said, it's probably pretty much done. What do you do with Renato Moicano? He's one of the most athletic guys in the UFC right now. He wasn't a household name until the last UFC, at least in the States. Now he is much more popular, and he is a number one contender to a belt that will not be defended against anybody but possibly a champion from another weight division for a very, very, very long time. Can you blame this all on Conor McGregor? It's quite possible. It's quite possible. You have your 155-pound champ, like I said, that can't fight for almost a year. He wants to fight Floyd Mayweather too. You have the greatest of all time, the GOAT, Artem Lobov, leaving the UFC. We haven't even talked about that. Over to boxing. He's gone. Artem Lobov is boxer now. So in between 5 and 700 fighters on the roster at any given moment, and every single weight class is in disarray, including this main event card. I'm Micah Fights with Friends. If you like what I do here, please hit that like button. I'm not usually this excited, but if you want to know when I post a new video or when I go live, like for the live fight companion tonight for UFC 234, which is main event is now Anderson Silva versus Israel Adesanya. Please subscribe, hit that bell button to make sure you're notified when I go live. As always, I love you, I respect you, and I'll see your fine asses later.